What a day. Welcome into HQ post game as we round out conference championship Saturday across the country. And we finish things in Indianapolis, the Big Ten. One team belonged there, the other team found themselves there, and the final score tells the story, 42-3. Number 2 Michigan takes care of Iowa, no problem, with 21 points coming in the fourth quarter. A dominant effort from the Wolverines, who outgained the Hawkeyes 461 yards to just 279, and it wasn't even that close. The defense leading the way again for Michigan as they now eye a spot in the college football playoff. All right, we're breaking it down in studio with the two-time Super Bowl champ and host of the All Things Covered podcast, our guy Bryant McFadden. B-Mac, we just took in 60 minutes of Big Ten football there.
Yes, we did.
I don't want to go too far out here, but it was a largely unimpressive first half. 2 early touchdowns by the Michigan offense, and you think, oh, they're going to run away with this thing. And then the Iowa defense buckles down a little bit, but in the fourth quarter, the watershed moment, it really just opened the floodgates there for the offense on the Michigan side of things. How impressed were you by the manner of this win? The final score tells the story of a beating, but did you see it that way for the 60 minutes?
I was very, very impressed, and here's why. Many people felt like Michigan's peak was last week against Ohio State, playing against your arch rival, team that has had your number over the last few years, and being able to be battle tested and win that ball game. The celebration that we saw following that ball game, it felt like, wow, that was their moment. But then they jumped into the Big Ten championship game against a very, very stout Iowa Hawkeye team, more so on the defensive side than the offensive side. Jumped out, like you said, fast start, slowed down, but defensively, they continued to play at a high level until the offense got right back into the thick of things and just blew this game away. So I was surprised to see how dialed in they were in understanding and embracing the moment, but I wasn't surprised to see Michigan cover, because Iowa was a team that snuck into the Big Ten championship game. The opportunity was there. They earned that right, but we all felt like Michigan was the better ball club. It was more so about, would Michigan give the attention? Would they be dialed in to be able to show that they're a better ball club? And they were able to do that in tonight's matchup.
Yeah, a convincing win, no doubt, with those 42 points of offense here. And I think it's important that the word you use there, moment. And I think that we may have lost sight of the moment here. We're talking about the college football playoff. Yep. Who's in, who's out, what do these games mean? But at the end of the day, Michigan is the Big Ten champion.
No question.
Do you look at this as a program moment? Obviously, it's one for the trophy case, and the first one since 04, first outright since 03, Big Mac. How big is this moment for Michigan football?
It's been a long, long time since they've been able to celebrate because of a conference win. Like you said, the last time they won a conference title was in 2004. I was a senior. I was a senior at Florida State. You know what I mean? So that's a long, long time ago. Not to say that I'm old, but let's keep it real. It's a long, long time ago.
Couple rings for you between now and then.
For a program like Michigan with the tradition, with the prestige, not being able to get to this moment, you know, with so many years passing through, other teams being able to accomplish something they weren't able to accomplish was huge for Harbaugh, was huge for the University of Michigan. And because of what they've done, and being able to be so consistent, they will have a spot in the top 4. And looking at this program and just seeing how much this means to everything they've been able to accomplish.
You know, Coach Harbaugh was someone that a lot of those Michigan boosters and a lot of the Michigan fandom had grown tired of the lack of success and the lack of results that he brought to the table. We're now in an era of quickly changing coaching carousels, and we're seeing things change very quickly. More to the success of certain coaches, but this was a position that could have changed due to the failure of a coach. Michigan stays with him, and now he brings a Big Ten championship back to this school, bringing them back to a point of prominence, which, as you just said, is somewhere that Michigan hadn't been in a very long time.
Yep.
For Coach Harbaugh to stay the course and accomplish this goal, this is a team that has a great amount of belief. How does that project forward into the playoff?
This is huge for him as an individual, because now it kind of takes pressure away from him. Granted, he took a pay cut coming into this season, but so many people are starting to doubt who he was as a coach. Great recruiter, guy that can motivate guys but can never get over the hump. And then, of course, throughout the course of this year, guess what happens? You travel to East Lansing, you lose to your arch rival Michigan State. Everyone is saying, oh, here we go again, you know what I mean? So then you're like, Ohio State, you got an opportunity. You got back on track before Ohio State ball game. You had home. Will they be able to get over the hump? And they did so. So this is arguably his best coaching performance as a head coach there at Ann Arbor. And don't forget, in the beginning of the season, they were unranked. They were not included in the top 25. So to look at where they started to where they ended in the regular season play, this was huge for Coach Harbaugh and huge for the University of Michigan.
All right, enough of living in the moment. Let's project things forward. Let's talk college football playoff because that has been the theme throughout the day. Michigan now on the inside, going to be one of those 4 teams. Do you see this as a team that can beat any other team in the entire country?
They have a shot, but if I was to give you my pick based on who they potentially could play outside of Cincinnati, I think it's a long shot. If they play Alabama, if you play University of Georgia, I think both teams are more suited to handle what Michigan does well, which is run the football. You know what I mean? And understanding if you put the game in the quarterback hands, he might not be able to deliver more so than not. So me personally, anything can happen when you get into the tournament, but you will have a pick when it comes to the favorite, when it comes to an underdog. Me personally, I think if they played against any of those 2 teams, it's going to be a long shot. They have a better chance. Granted, they won't see a team like Cincinnati because Cincinnati won't be ranked in order to see Michigan play, in my opinion. But they got a shot. But if you play against Georgia, bam, it's a long shot.
You got to soak it up. You got to enjoy them all, especially when they end in a trophy, and that's where Michigan's regular season ends as Big Ten champions. Don't move a muscle. We got plenty more HQ coming as we break down all things college football playoff and championship Saturday, taking a look at how they got it done. That young man, Hassan Haskins, 20 rushing touchdowns in a single season. You run the rock, you rush the passer, you win football games, and that's what Michigan does.